Hey y'all. So today I am going to do a video on how to disconnect and clear your energy after doing an energy work session. This video can be utilized by people that have taken classes in different energy modalities, or maybe you're new to it, in which you might be really susceptible to a lot of the information that is out there. This is a pretty safe and solid easy way to disconnect. And like all things, repetition really strengthens it. So if you make this into a practice, it'll help strengthen it. It'll strengthen your belief in yourself. It'll strengthen your intuition. Um, so this is just what I do. And sometimes it changes depending, but I thought that I would go ahead and do a video on this because I just finished, I don't know if yeah, I just finished doing a little bit of sound bowls and I disconnected. So when you are disconnecting, sometimes it's kind of hard if you have clients back to back. So I highly suggest that if you are booking clients, that you have a good like 30 to 45-minute gap. Me personally, I do not like having more than 3 clients a day because I need time to disconnect and I need time to set up and clean up. And then I need time to acquaint with the person so that way I can be on the same page as them when I go into the session with them. So I like to give myself extra time. However, I've known people that give themselves like 15 minutes in between. That does not work for me, and I'm not interested in making it work for me either. I'm cool with where so anyways, when you disconnect, one of the first things I do is I go to the bathroom and I wash my hands with cold water. And then what I do, let's stand up for this. What I do is what I was taught about dry washing in my Reiki class. So when you dry wash, you're going to cross your arms like this, disconnecting all empathic connection little plugs and outlets between you and the other person. Basically, you just want to make sure you get all the joints and then go across, so shoulder to hip, hip, start to myself, hip. And then you're going to want to do your legs. So hip all the way down to ankle. I know you can't see my ankle, but that's where it went. Hip all the way down to ankle. And I like to do a series of 3, and I also like to do the back side. This was not in my class. So I'll put both hands here, and then I just go all the way down to the ankles. And then I like to do behind the neck and go up and over and disconnect. And I will do that 3 times. So then I'll do it again. As you get really good at it, you don't have to be as like thorough, I guess. Not thorough, but not at all point. Like your attention and your mind show you how to do it. And you could do this before washing your hands also. I like to do it after washing my hands though, because then I have the element of water, which is cleansing, because this technique is called dry washing. However, then you bring in the water and it's like you're really washing, you know? So I do that. So hands, and then I dry wash. And then what I do is I take a minute away from people. So this is where it can get kind of hard if you have like a client that's talking and lingering and you're about to run into your next session, because you're going to feel really sticky at that next session with both of their stuff. And then it's just going to be harder to disconnect. So then what I do is, usually this is in a bathroom for me. I go ahead and put my hands in the Gestalt position or like the heart mudra position. And I envision divine white light, the highest love and highest light, pouring in through my crown, goes into my brain, my eyes, my ears, my nose, my teeth. This divine white light goes into my neck, my shoulders, my chest, my breast, my arms, my elbows, my wrists, my hands. I breathe in more divine white light all the way through all of my stomach, my upper back, middle back, lower back. And I envision this divine white light like a Mr. Clean Eraser, just scrubbing away all empathic connections, all connections from the session with my client, maybe even connections from like a really stressful situation talking to someone. I envision this divine white light going through my glutes, my tailbone, my hip joints, my quads, hamstrings, knees. Divine white light keeps going through my ankles, my feet, my toes. And then I envision like a power washer of divine white light going through my aura, power washing my whole aura with divine white light, cleansing out any and all energy that is not of the highest love and highest light, that is not my energy, cleansing it out and sending it into the light to be transmuted into light to serve humanity and Mother Earth. And usually the way it works for me is I just get a sense of I am clear. I find that the more that I question it, the less clear I become, the more openings I kind of wait for things to stick to. So that's what I do. I hand wash, I dry wash, and then I do a mental visualization of white light washing through my physical vessel as well as my aura, power washing it. And then if it's a day with like 3 clients, I take a salt bath at the end of the day because it just really helps clear the rest of the stuff off. And if, let's say you're watching this and you're doing demonstrations at like a fair, obviously it's going to be hard to keep running to the bathroom, right? So this is where you kind of got to trust yourself, your intuition, and be confident in yourself. And so what I do is I bring like a little water bottle. The fairs I've been at have been outside. You probably have to improvise if you're inside, but I bring a little water bottle and I put a tiny bit of salt in it. And then after every person that I've worked on, which I've had like days where I've worked on like, goodness, like 10 people for like 15, 20 minutes back to back. And so I will just put water over my hands, wash them. I'll do a quick dry wash. Might not have time for the 3 swipes, but that's cool. And Reiki, we're taught just to do it once anyways. And I'll do a dry wash. And then I'll do a really quick visualization of the white light, which is why repetition is important. Because if you repeat, then it becomes really quick and effortless and easy for you to cleanse and let go of these energies, right? So yeah, I'll do a little bit of water splashed on my hands, not all of it, because this has to last me the whole demonstration, the whole fair. Water on my hands, and then I dry wash, and then I white light. And then at fairs, what I like to do is, again, I've done a lot of outside fairs, is I do like a little circle of salt around my booth to further like keep out energy that is not in alignment with me, that doesn't resonate with me. It creates a barrier of protection, weeding out those people that I am not aligned with working on. And then if it's an indoor fair, what you can do is you can get like little shot glasses, like the little ones from Dollar Tree, and put a little bit of salt on them and just put them under your table or in your little setup. So that way your mind knows you've created that little perimeter. And then sometimes if I feel really, really sticky after a session, I'll do a salt bath and then I'll do the divine white light visualization. And if I find myself like thinking about a person really obsessively, that shows me that I have an energy cord attached to me. Sometimes it's them attached to me, sometimes it's me attached to them. And this can happen when you over empathize with someone. That is the opening for that energy to attach on either end. And I've had it where sometimes I've attached to the other person, sometimes they've attached to me. It's not the end of the world. The more you get familiar with your energy, the more easily you can recognize that this is going on and unplug from them or have them unplug from you. Sometimes I will use a candle to do this, a candle and scissors to symbolically represent cutting cords. Sometimes I will just do it in my mind and I'll be in the bath and I'll visualize the cords getting cut. If it feels like a hook, which feels a lot more aggressive and more like obsessive in head, I'll do a visualization where I picture myself pulling out a weed, like weeding out that hook, and then putting it in like a little violet flame container. Trying to think what else. If you're working from home, it's really good to have salt containers and a dedicated space for a sacred space. So it's really easy to contain the energy work that you're doing and clean up afterwards. I've heard stories of people having a really hard time cleaning energy out of their house. I do not have that issue. However, I've done it so much that like all of my stuff is very contained. Working in the house, it helps to, this is another one that can help disconnecting even in an office, is to light a candle. Working in the house, I light 4 candles, and then those 4 candles act as a perimeter of safety, but it's also, I set the intention that when a client is shedding density, or maybe I'm working through some density for them, that all that density goes into those candle flames and is transmuted into the highest light and highest love to serve humanity and Mother Earth's highest good. And that keeps everything from just piling up in our living room, like the candle flames, golden. And then you just envision like those dense energies being purified by the flames. Because like we've all seen fire, it goes through and ravages like forests. Like fire is a force that you don't necessarily want to get in a fight with if you're in a forest and there's a forest fire, right? It's much easier to run from it. So same concept with the dense energies. Like they go into the flames, they get consumed, they're transmuted into light, and then they go and work however the universe wants to redistribute them. And that really helps in creating sacred space. But you can also just use one candle and for the sake of disconnection. And you can use that one candle and set the intention that when the session finishes, that when you blow that candle out and then do your dry wash in the white light and the water, that disconnects you completely from that person. And so I go through a lot of tea light candles. You can get tea light candles at Smith's or Kroger's store, maybe Hy-Vee. I think the one over here in New Mexico, it's a 50 count of them for like $3.99. And yeah, so I go through a lot of tea lights for that purpose. And you can blow out the candle and then relight it for the next session. And just keep the intention to disconnect every time you blow it out. And then in a sense, you're going to be working with the elements of earth. Because if you're doing like salt is of the earth, and then water, like washing your hands with the cold water, and then fire, the candles, and then air, which is like the mind, like using the mind to visualize, right? And you can smudge also. A lot of people smudge. I find smudging does not necessarily disconnect. It does help in creating sacred space, but I don't find that smudging disconnects. And that is just my experience with it. I find that smudging provides a temporary fix for disconnection, but doesn't disconnect. However, I love using smudge for sacred space purposes. So, and just for like oomping my aura. So I think that's everything I can think of for like how to disconnect after a session. Oh, and then disconnecting, like if you're doing online videos, I had a hard time when I first started doing online videos with like energy transmissions. I reached out to a few channels because I didn't know what to do. So I'm just sharing what has worked for me. So the first time I ever did an energy transmission or a Reiki video, all of a sudden, like I felt like all of my energy was drained from me, and I had to delete the video because I had so many energy cords attached to me through that video. But at the time, I wasn't really strong in my belief systems because I was really new to all of this, and so that was the opening for all those cords to attach to me. I was still struggling with like Catholicism and religious programming and demons and thought forms and reptilians and conspiracy theories, and like there's so many openings in my field for things to like mess with me because I just was not solid in my beliefs as I went through my psychic awakening, which is different than a spiritual awakening. I was blown wide open with psychic awakening with very little understanding and resources to work through it. So I kind of had to learn everything backwards, which is also why I'm sharing this video. So hopefully you don't have to learn everything backwards. So if you do decide that you want to do videos online and you're like a little bit worried about that, the key is to know your belief system. And for me, I have a working draft of my belief system that I edit and change from time to time. And what I do if I'm feeling sticky or uncertain is like I'll go through and I'll read my belief system like it's a prayer. And that way I hear all my beliefs. I know what's true to me. I know what's mine. Because if you know your beliefs, you know what is yours. Versus what isn't yours. But if you don't know your beliefs, or maybe you know them, but you just like haven't like really got them out solidly, it can be a little like tug of war-ish, trying to figure it all out. So I'll read my belief system. So what I did with doing videos online is I wrote into my belief system that I believe, and I don't care what anybody tells me, it's my belief system. Plain and simple, that's how belief systems work. I believe that when I do a recording or an energy transmission, that recording stays at that point in time. And therefore, since it is at that point in time, nothing can hook to me, cord to me, attach to me in any shape, way, or form because I'm no longer in that point in time. That energy transmission is, but I'm not. I'm here now, and now that moment's gone, and now I'm in the next moment. It's just the transmission that's in that point in time. I am not the transmission. I am just a channel for the transmission. And so having that understanding and awareness um, really has helped me not have anyone cord to me. Um, and I always, well, not always. In the beginning, I used to, when I really needed a little more reinforcement in my belief system and structuring, I would do a prayer and I would have a candle and I would do the blowing out of the candle to symbolize I was done with the transmission. Now I don't really have to do the candle to symbolize I'm done with the transmission. Sometimes I do it just for the purpose of alchemy and transmutation as I'm doing an energy transmission. However, I don't need it as much. Kind of like when a kid has training wheels on a bike and then eventually you take the training wheels off. Like the candle at that time was really helpful. However, I don't really need the training wheels anymore. And so, yeah. And yeah, just having a really strong belief about it. Or like the other belief I had that I wrote in there was I believe that nobody can cord to me at any point in time off of my content because I am not my content. That is just an energy transmission. And you cannot really cord to the energy of like creativity because creativity and ideas, they are their own little energies and thought forms, right? They're not you either. So therefore you bring it to life through just simply being you. And then that's it. It's out there. It's not you. Nobody can attach to you. Now, if you get attached to the idea or the stuff that you're creating, then others can attach to you and cord to you. You feel really tired or listless or lethargic or just act in weird ways that aren't you. Um, and then let's see. Oh, and then groups, like just connecting from groups. Like if you're thinking about leading a guided meditation or doing a healing circle. For one, start with a prayer. Prayer is very powerful. Find prayer that resonates with you. And set the intention that that prayer acts as an armor around you so that way you're not over empathizing with those that are there. Because a lot of times I find with cords and hooks and attachments, the people that have them, it's because there's a lot of emotion around that person that they're corded or connected to. Doesn't matter if it's like fear or anger or whatever. If it's an emotion, it has a charge. And if it has a charge, that's like an opening into your field. So start with a prayer to kind of just be like your armor to help you not over empathize. Like I have a prayer that I pray before my sessions. I can't remember all of it. It's in the other room. But it says, please help me be stronger, not stronger than my brother, but stronger than my greatest enemy, myself. And please help me be compassionate without empathy overtaking me or something like that. And I find that prayer very useful in helping me have strong energy boundaries, right? So start with a prayer, definitely, and then realize that you are a channel. Do not get attached to the outcome. Whatever's coming through you in the meditation and stuff, it's not completely yours. You're just co-creating and collaborating with God, Goddess, Creator, Creatrix of all that is. Once you let go of that attachment, it makes it a lot harder for other people to attach to you because they're also mirroring to you your own attachments to stuff, right? And then always follow up with dry washing, the hand washing, the visualization of the white light, and then a salt bath. And then also, I would say in a group, maybe add a little extra visualization protection. So like one of the ones that like I love to do, and I've been wanting to do a guided meditation on it, I just haven't had time, is like I envision myself in a ball of divine white light, so bright and so pure that only the highest love and highest light can enter. Anything that is not of the highest love and highest light is evicted from the premises of this ball. And then once I feel like that ball is intact, then I activate a 4-inch thick layer of selenite on the perimeter. And I envision that perimeter coating the ball of white light. Once that selenite is there, I envision about 4 inches give or take, of violet flame energy coating the selenite. See, I'm envisioning as I'm talking. Oh my god, that's good. And then after the violet flame feels good, then I envision like 6-inch diamond barbed wire. And so then I'm bringing in the streams of consciousness of the stone, selenite, and diamond, right? But then I'm also bringing in the energy of the divine violet flame and divine lights. And so then I set the intention that this ball, I will make a meditation. I hear them telling me I need to do it. Okay. I set the intention that this ball of protection stays active around me for the next 12 or 24 hours. I haven't managed to make it to where it lasts longer than 24 hours. I find for me what works best is a 24-hour window with that one. And I set the intention that this ball of protection is powered by the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, Mother Earth, Father Sky, Creator, Creatrix of all that is. And I set the intention that they power it for the next 24 hours. That way, they are the battery pack to my protection, which I am a child of them. So of course, as divine parents, like they want to protect me, but sometimes kids gotta ask for help, right? So that's me like, hey y'all, like, can I plug in, please? Thanks. And then I just stay plugged in. And so if I'm doing a group thing, I am plugged into that, keeping my energy shielded. And I usually do a really good grounding meditation before and after. And I also like to sometimes close with like a grounding meditation where I have everybody envision like cutting any energetic threads and cords and attachments to people, places, and things that don't serve them, including in that point in time in that room. So that way people don't go home corded to each other, corded to me. That way we were all energetically responsible. And then that is what helps me not get corded or feel sticky, exhausted energy during a group energy working. So I think that is everything I have for you. If anything more comes to me, maybe I'll leave it in the info box. If you have any questions or if you want to share anything that works for you, please do. And then, yeah, I think that's everything. Thanks for listening, and I hope that this is helpful to you and of service to you. It's an honor sharing this information with you.